You've done. There's so much hope. We can fix this dog. I hope we can fix this dog today. Reactivity due to fear can be very complicated and take a long time. It can run people's lives. They can't go on walks. They can't have people over to their house. They just don't know what to do. You're going to see my methods, and I'm going to go into them in depth, and it's going to hopefully shorten the period of time that for you to fix your fear reactive dog. Now, for these methods to work, it really does have to be fear-based, and most things are not fear-based. So right there, she's ready to walk away with the dog. I tell her, stay, don't go anywhere. That's the normal thing to do, right? Your dog's freaking out. There's somebody right there. You walk them away. The problem with that is the dog gets exactly what they want. Me and mommy left scary guy. I want her to stay right here. One, I have a fence there. I'm not going to have another opportunity to really assess the dog. But look at the dog. You've seen dogs at that gate or towards Prince, and they basically hit the fence or hit the fence to Prince. This dog is backing up. So first thing I'm doing is going, this is based in fear. Now to the handshake method. So the handshake method is for two things. It's to tell the dog that you are friends with the person, and sometimes the dog will just listen and go, well, I didn't know we were friends with them. But there's another point to it. After you do the handshake method, you can then go knock it off with the circle of trust method or a correction or something. You can say knock it off because you have been a reasonable owner. You have communicated to the dog that you're friends. It didn't lessen the reactivity, let's say, but you can at least do a consequence and feel okay about it because you have done your due diligence, whereas before maybe the dog simply didn't know that you have invited them into your life. But we have eliminated that thought in the dog's head with the handshake method, so then we can move on to the actual consequences for the behavior. All right, now it's going to be my circle of trust method. So what is the circle of trust method? It is the consequence is the dog is outside of the circle of trust and farther away from the people he wants to be with the most. That is the most punishing thing that can happen at that moment. If you've ever wanted to become a high-level professional dog trainer, or if you're currently a dog trainer and want to improve your skills, now is the time. I am launching the Beckman Coaching Program. Email beckmanventures@gmail.com and tell me why you want to be a part of the program. When she comes up and barks at me, which she will, because I could do a movement that would probably get her bark, I want you to clap and say, hey, just as a shocker. Yeah. Then I want you to grab her, take her out of the circle of trust, sit her down over there, just right there on the bridge. Yep. If she's going, where's Joel? I hate Joel. Then you're gonna like, you can do, I don't want to do it right now, too close to her. You can do like she's looking past you. You can like touch her right here, which kind of gets her to go, that's a weird move. You could walk her back farther away and say, you still looking at Joel? Yeah. Worry about me, don't worry about Joel. Yeah. And then you do that. Then I'm gonna say, or you're gonna just let her go. But when you let her go, she needs to be at least going, okay, Johnny, what the hell, dude? This is very different from what I saw up there, and freakouts and pulling and frustration and leash, and she knows how to counter the leash. She really knows how to counter the leash, and that's why I was like, don't do it anymore. It's not working, okay? So we're gonna do something different, okay? And that's what we're gonna do different. Sound good? Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna elicit a reaction, most likely. Ari's the best girl in the world. You ready, Johnny? Yep. Ari's the best girl. You're a nice doggy. You want a treat? Hey. Walk her away. Come on. And, nope, Brandon. And tell her, okay? It's hard to see what okay, good, Ari. Good, Johnny. Come back over here. Great job. Okay, you want a treat? I don't have any treats, but do you want a treat? I'll go. Nope, come on, Ari. Good job. And sit. Nope. Good job. Tell her sit. And calmly walk back and don't even release her. Now, treats from the scary stimulus, as I call it. This is one of my foundational methods where the dog just needs to get reinforced by the scary stimulus. You want your dog to go, oh, I don't like that person. But random people give me chicken, or that particular person I don't like often gives me chicken, and you want your dog to start to go, where's chicken guy? Or in this case, I have hot dogs. Where's hot dog guy? I like hot dog guy. I don't want to bark at hot dog guy. And I will give so many damn pieces of chicken. It's just a wonderful method, but you can't get there if the dog is out of his mind. So we had to do the circle of trust method, which The consequence is the dog is farther away from the owners, as opposed to what you saw up top where owners walk away and the dog is now next to you and the person is farther away. It's the polar opposite of usual. And that's where this has an impression on the dog's brain. So we got the dog down to where I was able to do treats from the scary stimulus. By the way, it does not work if you have the treats, the owner has the treats, the dog looks at the scary stimulus, and you treat the dog. It does not work. The treats need to come from the scary stimulus, whether they're thrown. The dog needs to see them as the treat delivery system. Them coming from you does not do the same thing. No matter what a trainer tells you, it simply does not, or it does 1% of what treats from the scary stimulus does. Smelling the camera person. So now we're at the just desensitization, habituation, socialization phase, which is just, it takes time. There's treats from people, that's wonderful. There's circle of trust, also wonderful. But time with somebody is also as important as those two things, maybe more important. And you really can't speed that process up. Some things just simply take time. She comes up to me, she's with me. She actually leaves them to go beyond me, all a good sign. Now we're going to basically start back at square one. She's good with me, she's good with the camera person. Great, 2 friendships. But she doesn't have any dog friendships in her life, so we need that as well. And it's actually less of a reaction than it was to me. You can just see a little more happiness. Now that might be because she made some human friendships. We did the circle of trust. There was some discipline. But the dog thing seems less. She seems to like dogs more. Hair up on the back, that's fine. It's just stimulation. People ask me that all the time. Is that bad? It's not bad. It's not good. It's stimulated. You do have to watch them when the hair's up because their body is just having a visceral reaction, a Pavlovian reaction to a stimulus. So you have to watch that. So I'm going slow. I did not just release the Kraken. That's okay. Stop right there. You're good right there. I didn't just release him out to overwhelm her. She's getting to smell the air and cruise around and come up to him as slow as she wants. It's really good. This goes to what we talked about, slow and steady, right? Oh. I know. There's so much hope. We can fix this dog. I hope we can fix this dog today. I pointed to the owner and said, you go over there because I want to separate the owners. The worst thing for a dog like this is 2 owners together when another dog or a person comes up to them. It's not that they're protecting the owners, but the dog's saying, like, everything I need is right here. So I want to tell that dog or that scary person to get out of here. So if you're at a restaurant and they're under the table or under your chair, it's the worst possible situation. Or if the owners at my facility are standing together, Prince comes right in between them. The dog, they feel powerful in a way, okay? They're just emboldened by touching you, by leaning on you. And they also are just like, the 2 best people in the world are here. You want to kind of leave them on a bit of an island off to the side. If you're at a restaurant, like not sitting on your foot, not leaning on you. So now it's just friendship. It's just happiness. A lot of the rest of the session is just pure happiness. And so you can see my shoes right there. If I'm there during happiness, she's still like, oh, I didn't know that was you that I was rubbing on. I thought that was my dad. But if a dog is experiencing joy, which she is with Prince, she loves Prince, and I'm in her eye line, if she can smell me or any human being, then the 2 things will merge, right? I'm involved in happiness, okay? It's classical conditioning, it's Pavlovian conditioning. So a lot of this session was just to get this dog socialized with other dogs, different sized dogs, small dogs. You're going to see that. And then we're going to get her off the muzzle. She has some water issues. It's just a window into her mind a little bit. It doesn't really matter, but she has some verging on like a little bit of OCD water stuff, but it doesn't really affect her with the dogs or people. You also saw her mark over Prince. It doesn't really affect her, but it's just some little things that should be noticed. Now, again, treats from the scary stimulus. This is one of my trainers. He's got long hair. He's got a hat on. That can be a weird thing to dogs. So it's first tossing the treats. Again, this does not work coming from the owners. This has to come from the person. That's my first time I've really touched her. Open hand feed. It's not scary, but dogs can sometimes, no one can get bit. During your training, during my training, People and dogs cannot get bit. It changes lives. So she touched my hand and got a treat. So her first touching of me, besides the rubbing on my leg, was an experience that, look how happy she is. I mean, she's just perfect. She's darn near perfect with dogs. You remember that run up to Prince? That was not good. Look at her 10 minutes later. But we have the muzzle on to keep everyone safe. I mean, this is a little tiny dog. It can't get hurt if she were to go at him. But now we're just going with happiness and joy. Hair's still up, but it's pure, pure joy. And the next dog she meets, which she hasn't met a dog in years, I think, a new dog or a new person. The next dog she meets, she's going to go, well, I met that big dog who's intact. And then I met that little female black dog, and she meets another dog. And then the next dog she meets, she's just going to go like, it's no big deal. If you're going to do this in your own house, in your own life, you need to use something, right? A fence, a muzzle, a leash to keep everyone safe. Then you fade out of those things as quickly as possible. We faded out the fence, we faded out the leash, but we still are on a muzzle for safety, obviously. But that muzzle is going to get popped off, and that's what you should do. And then if you have trained with an e-collar and used it on high levels, you really have to be careful because dogs can just kind of snap when e-collar training has been done. But like this dog's not going to snap. I mean, what's the triggers that we've seen? Now, we'll take the muzzle off in a minute because she loves this little puppy. The triggers we've seen, Prince has been rough with her. She has dealt with it. She's met a dog through a fence. She's ran with a dog. A dog has jumped on her. Like, we've seen all the triggers, so then the muzzle can come off. And we're still in just that joy phase for this dog. And these folks have to go home and they have to continue this process. They need to be I think they were staying in town, and I told them, because they're from out of town, they're from Arizona, I think I told them, you need to get this dog with dogs today. If they wait 3 days, then the dog might have a little bit of a reaction, which then the normal human being, the non-dog trainer, is going to go tighten up the leash, pull the dog away, because that's what you're going to do, because that's what everyone does. But if she meets a dog tonight, she's going to flow right into meeting these 3 dogs, flow into the 4th dog 2 hours later, 5 hours later, and it's going to be nothing. And then that's another dog. You add another dog meeting, dog friendship to the list. Now that makes it 4. And then you, as an owner, build confidence, and the dog is desensitized. Then you go 5, 6, 7. And then you maybe wait 2 days because you get back home, and then, okay, we got to find the neighbor. We got to do this. Okay, there might be a little regression from those 3 days away from dogs. And then the floodgates open, and your dog is just essentially perfect with dogs. And this dog is essentially perfect with dogs. I mean, it's a weird play style, but dogs play like that. Pits sometimes play like that butt down, run away. But it's pure joy. And we just wanted, at the end of the session, pure, pure joy. Now, no muzzle, right? I'm right there with me. So there was friendships with humans built. There was friendships with dogs built. But it really did take all those things. It took time. It took treats from the scary stimulus. In this case, it was people. You obviously can't do treats from the scary stimulus with dogs. So it takes sort of a slower process with the dogs, and making sure that first dog is the treat, right? Is a good enough dog that the dog enjoys it. That's why Prince is usually that dog, but he's not always that dog. And then, so treats from the scary stimulus. Time, right, which is desensitization, habituation, and socialization. That's the time aspect. Out of the circle of trust. That's the discipline aspect. All those things were necessary to get this dog, as good as this dog is, in a short period of time. So, and it's all under the umbrella of classical conditioning, Pavlovian conditioning, which is automatic responses, okay, not operant conditioning. This was very little operant today. It was all classical conditioning, which can be defined in a way as feelings-based, happiness-based. All right, that is the video.